Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Nutcracker Show with Claude Bawles. And already we have Gangster Ghost and the Big Bad Mama ready to go and discuss issues of the day. Let's just listen to our opening theme music to get things started.
Claude, I think it started and stopped.
Oh,
Right, Logan?
I don't hear it.
okay. Well, that's a good start to the day. That's marvelous. Can you hear me? We'll give that one a miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Because you might see that I did change a few words about this show and I called it Blessed Are the Cheesemakers. Are you familiar with that saying?
Is that Monty Python?
Yes, from The Life of Brian, where they think they
Right.
hear, instead of Blessed Are the Peacemakers, they say, oh no, he said Blessed Are the Cheesemakers. And I thought, well, after the peacemaking attempts that have been going on, that I thought, well, it's a good show, isn't it? Blessed are the cheesemakers instead. So I've changed below that it's a channel for rational thinkers, theists and atheists alike. Special invitation to Dan Pozzi to participate. I've come up with a bit of a creed, actually. The definition of religion is the belief in and worship of a superhuman power or powers, especially of a god or gods. That's from Oxford Languages. Why I'm doing that is, and that doesn't mean it makes no condemnation, you be religious or not, but we need a proper definition of religion, not the one that Kent Hovind is putting about, because it really gets me annoyed when he dishonestly states that evolution is a religion, and it's simply not. Because why? Because you believe in it, he says. And I hope you guys can agree that believing in something doesn't make it a religion.
Well, words have definitions, and
Yeah.
for a reason.
Yeah.
So there's no definition of religion that fits Kent Hovind's definition of it, which is basically anything is a religion, according to him.
Yeah, you believe in it. That's why I had that laugh the other day. I don't know if you heard it. I was talking to the Gangster Ghost and I said, I have a cat. I believe in my cat. It doesn't mean it's a religion, And Gangster Ghost had a good laugh at that one too. So I think I probably had something done with me worshipping a cat now. Something. I accept, we accept the scientific method and the theory of evolution. I'm straight out saying it because I heard Achilles today saying that they're not going to discuss evolution anymore because it's been totally disproven by all science. And I just thought that was such a ludicrous statement. I thought, well, no, I'm putting a stump in the earth here. A stick in the earth and saying that's what I accept as true. And I say we accept the collective authority of the vast majority of those properly qualified in the sciences. You have to say vast majority because there are very few outliers, perhaps 1%, which is statistically
Which is
meaningless.
nothing.
It's nothing, but otherwise they would come back at that. We accept that the Earth is globe in shape.
Right.
And is about 4.5 billion years of age. We make no excuses for offenders against minors, those who attempt to fool the public with pseudo qualifications and general charlatanry. Now, that might be a bit pointed, those last bits. But and it's my intention.
Did you present that to the group?
This creed, no, it's on my on the advertisement for the show. It's got it's in the description for this show. So there you go.
Go over well.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if anybody even read it. Yeah. So I just want to make a start.
I'm a scientist, Claude. I mean,
yeah.
I don't even have to appeal to like some sort of an authority because I consider myself an authority on the subject matter.
Yes, yes, and your one is especially the earth sciences, which, I mean, I guess you can't compete with Kent having taught it for 15 years at some Christian school in the back of beyond that hired just anybody off the street. But in
I
order
think
to
it was,
believe,
yeah,
in
go
order
ahead.
to believe Kent, you'd have to dismiss people like yourself who've spent a
Right,
lifetime studying, and I'm
right.
afraid it just isn't the case. So,
Oh, and I mean, I had brilliant professors where I went to school,
yeah,
and I mean, these guys really knew their stuff when you were out in the field with them, and
yeah,
you were
yeah.
talking about the rock layers, and I mean, these guys were, of course, in a university, they were published authors, and many had written books, and it's just like when I hear Kent talking about geology in particular,
Mm.
to me, it's just so strange. And it does get me, it does get me upset, but it's also like so weird that it's also just interests me.
Ah, yes, you have the strange attraction
Right.
to and myself, and I'm pretty sure you are. We see our role is to warn those that we can, those with the open minds, to listen, so that they don't get sucked in, for want of a better word, by this man who's not a science, hasn't got a scientific knowledge at all, in my view, apart from being able to recite the names, the neck bone connected to the ankle, or whatever bone. He could do that
That's what
song.
he
He
wanted
could, he can,
taught.
he can read the name. Yeah, when he talks, he throws in all these names, and all
He
that
knows
is
more than I do
labels.
about it.
Yeah, but it's just labels. It's like
Yeah, it's
reciting something
memorization.
in a verse, yeah. And there's a big difference to being memorizing and to actually understanding, and I think that's quite important. So that's just my view on that. So I thought I want to make that clear.
He's very poorly versed in genetics. I mean, there's other creationists that understand it a lot better than he does. And whenever
Yeah.
he's on one of those Standing for Truth shows and he's questioned about it, he just defers right over to Donnie because he doesn't know the details.
Yes, that's right. Mod has said, "Our crazy weirdos welcome to chat here." Of course, there's already 3 on board. Myself, Gangster, and Big Bad Mama. We're all crazy in some
Gangster,
ways.
how are you? What are you doing? What are you up to?
Not much.
I'm liking your videos you're
How are
putting
you?
out with Mark Space.
Oh, thank you.
Those are good. Um, there was one. Was it like from Basket Case or something? What movie was that
Oh,
from? Where Mark was like a parasitic twin coming out of the guy's body?
that's from Total Recall.
Oh, that's Total Recall. Okay, because I knew I'd seen that before. That was hilarious.
Oh, thank you.
Did you watch that, Claude?
No, I think I've had a very sheltered life as it comes to
It's a
movies.
little.
Mm.
Maybe we could watch it later because it's only like 20 seconds long or something.
Sorry, I thought you meant the movie.
No,
Right.
no.
Yeah, no, we could. That
Gangster
would be
goes
great.
short with
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mark as the parasitic twin
Mm.
or the
I do.
parasitic.
Yeah, I do get worried that I'm going to have nightmares when I after seeing them. So it's been interesting to see I did watch quite a bit of the last night with the peacemaking exercise, and that was interesting. And then I saw that Lupin was hosting one there today, and he laid down a few of these rules and things.
What were his rules?
Something about if you attack in any way the host, you're gone immediately. It was all a bit one-sided sort of rules, as far from what I could see, and bad language wouldn't be tolerated, which is very ironic.
Right. It's ridiculous.
Very ironic. That's all I can say, but I'm not sure if the word ironic would be understood by people of that sort of inclination. So that's a kind way of putting it. I don't know if they would know what ironic meant. Maybe made of steel.
What did you think of the peace accords?
Well, I'm a bit cynical.
Yeah.
We'll just see, because because the way I look at it is this: maybe I will temper the way I occasionally lose it a bit, and resort to the use of the word drongo. Well, I think it's quite a good word because it's sort of funny and clumsy in the same way. It isn't just stupid, So I'll probably try not to use that, throw it out there so much, but it's not going to stop me making questioning, or questioning that sort of thing, because it's just nonsense, and won't stop me having to go at Kent Ovend. So, if that is the requirement, well, I'll find that very difficult. I will just try and temper my language sometimes in terms of, not of profanity. I don't do that, but I won't try and bait them. But I find that I get kicked off just for disagreeing. That's the way I view it. Unless they can show me otherwise, where something that I did was just awful. Mostly it's just disagreement. I'd very much like to be able to go on when they have Kent Hovind on. I think, is it the 18th they're having Kent?
I think so.
Yeah, and they're going to interview him. Well, it'd be great to see if I'm allowed
Right.
on that, because that, and I'll have one or two questions at the ready. Maybe Creationist Crybaby should have some questions at the ready too.
I don't know. I have to think about it.
Well,
I've never been on. For one thing, I don't want to go on Proverbs Guy channel.
All right. Okay.
I mean, I just don't. I mean, I'm probably more cynical than you about this whole thing. I just look at the timing of this thing, and it just smells to high heaven.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to work. I've been listening to.
Well, let me say something else. I mean,
yes, okay.
It tended to. For me, it broke down in the middle of the talk itself when they went after truck driver Billy and basically made misstatements about some of his comments, which had been, which are gone. Missy Maud, why don't you come on here? I'd like to talk to you. So the timing of it is just really suspect. And, I just think Father Charles should just keep doing what he's doing, and that channel should just basically be ignored and let them do whatever they want to do over there. I just think Father Charles already has a great channel. I mean, he's getting like 150 views on his live streams, and I'm just going to go on streams where I think it's going to be fun. That's what I've decided.
Yeah, we have a bit of a laugh and play with the language, whether it be French or English or whatever. Billy has been on because Missing Mod said, I'm done with peace. I blocked Stephen already. And then Billy said, oh, what did he do, Missing Mod? So Billy is here. And I actually thought Billy did very well last night on that channel, and he was a voice of reason, and he was a voice of reason again today. So he hasn't swallowed the what do you swallow? He hadn't swallowed it whole. Yeah. So he's going to give it a chance, but
I'll give it a chance.
Sensible. Yeah. All we are saying is give peace a chance. I might write a song called that. All we are saying is give peace a chance. Did someone famous sing that?
We need to change that to a Proverbs guy song.
Do you know the song I'm referring to?
Yeah, John Lennon, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, we're of similar quality in songwriting, yes.
They
Now,
recorded it in bed.
now, I want to point this out. There's McKeesport Rose Garden. I don't know who McKeesport Rose Garden is. These are wonderful names.
Right.
Says, keep reporting his videos. We report on them, but we don't actually report them. So just to make that clear, we don't report his videos. We report, on here about them. He bragged about buying subs, did so again, 25,000+ subscriber with about 10 to 15 comments a video. Yes,
Right.
it is looking, and the views are what, 2,000 or 3,000? It's a very low percentage of views, so something's happening. Yeah. And McKeesport says, everybody is loony except Kent. He's just never wrong. Maybe Joe needs to accept him the way he is, sovereign citizen, commander, and all for breaking laws. Yeah, so it's too late for Joe. There's been 3 more since.
Right.
So it would have to be Sandra, and I'm not going to say anything about her offensive because that's not fair.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, I
Yeah.
like Sandra, so I wouldn't say anything about her anyway.
Yes, yeah, well, that's it. I mean, love is a strange thing, and it often means that we think differently about someone, and it's probably a fortunate thing. So
I'm glad he has Sandra, because I think he could be even worse than what he is, frankly.
yeah.
And I think at least it gives him some warmth in his life that, I haven't seen much of it spill out, but I'm just saying he could be worse than what he is.
Yeah. Key Sports says, Ken Smith such parlor near you soon. Well, I hope not, but of course it could be a way to fund the ministry. Because I see he's had a well driller in there, and this is typical. So he gets a quote, the cheapest quote. They drill to the agreed level, no water comes up. So he's now looking at near double the cost. So he's actively seeking money to pay for that. And all I can think of is there must be some people out there silly enough to send it in still. So otherwise he wouldn't do it.
It's probably not easy drilling out there. There's some big rocks and stuff, but he's got like 14 lakes or something. I mean, can't he? Can he get some water from there somehow?
I don't know. Well, maybe this is a better quality water because
That's true.
So I can see there's a value in having a well, but normally you get a geologist and you look and you see what's under there and you get a bit of an idea. If you believed in the geologic column, you'd probably have a better idea of where to drill, or am I being a bit unfair?
No, you would know. You would know. I mean, they already know what's beneath Kent's place. I mean, it's all been mapped geologically. Kent just doesn't agree with the map, but they would be able to predict at what depth probably you would find certain units because they've already mapped them from other nearby areas, and the geology is probably not too much different.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's what a pity. Never mind. Now, Missing Mod says, I can't believe someone called DCF on Mark. That's so wrong. I don't know what DCF means. Can anybody tell me?
Okay, so I don't know how much of this I want to...
Oh, well, don't go into too much depth.
So... I think that's the Child Protective Services she's talking about.
Oh, right. Okay, now I understand.
And Skylar accused her of calling them, which is ridiculous. And I was driving and I was kind of watching the video, and I fired back a text to tell Skylar he was, basically wrong, or how does he know, or what have you. But then he basically went off. Wasn't it on your show, Logan?
Yeah,
Logan?
that was on Ari,
It was on
Oh,
what?
that's
my show Ari.
Okay. Didn't he say something about me, I think? I mean, you don't have to repeat it, but he did
yeah.
say something about me.
There was lots of F words thrown around, but
Yeah.
you might have
Yeah.
been one of them, but there were others as well. So you were in good company, you know. You weren't just on your own.
Oh, yeah, I'm not. It doesn't
But I
bother
just
me at
can't be
all. But
bothered with that. So, you know, quite
I
frankly,
was standing up for her
yeah.
because that's out of line to accuse somebody of that.
Yes. So I'm not going to have him on
Totally
my
out of
show.
line.
Yeah. So he's not going to come on the show. You know, I'm
Right.
simply not going to put up with that absolute nonsense. And
Right. That's good,
so
Claude.
missing Mod, where you say no one can be trusted, I think you can trust us pretty well. We do have a little differences of opinion, but we don't stab you in the back. Unless, of course, you ever go at us first, because sometimes you say
You got to
some
defend
interesting
yourself with
things.
her
Yes,
sometimes. It's like,
yeah.
otherwise
So,
she'll just steamroll
yeah.
right over you.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody's going to have done something like that, call their services, I could guess who. It wasn't Missing Mod. It's a person who has made some allegations about that on his show. Or look at that guy who's living with his daughter. What an awful person Kent Hovind is, really, when you think
Right.
about that. That you can't go any lower than that. It's a pity Dan has not fronted up, because I'd be asking him to defend that. And you would see the prevarication and he'd then ask me, what do you think of people who cut bits off, you know, and make people into different sexes? Totally unrelated, but he would come up with that, I'm sure, because it's happened before.
Right. Not only is it unrelated, it's like it's comparing Kent Hovind's actual behavior in real life to a belief you might have about an issue. And not only are they apples and oranges in terms of the subject matter, but one is actually a person did a real thing. And then the other is, well, maybe you believe something. And because you believe something, you're all of a sudden that equates to somebody that did something. It's just ridiculous. I don't know if that made any sense whatsoever, but
No, it did, yeah. McKee Sport is, yeah, his court and Byram case, he won't ever win for cash dried up. I'm not sure what exact money grabs next to need a rocket ship to outer space, but it'll fall in the mud by Rex for insurance. I bet that last bit is quite sort of yeah. So
you always have a lively chat, Claude.
well, I don't know half these people. Maybe we do. Maybe we do.
I know this person. Yeah.
Oh, you do. Oh, so it's
Yeah.
And are they generally? What is their views on life? I can.
I've
have a bit of
I've
an
always
idea.
had good
Yeah, you know just about everybody.
vibes about them.
You do. You have so many people. I'm quite impressed. You and Gangster Ghost. I'll tell you what, I'm sick of all those women saying how wonderful Gangster Ghost is, and he's got the biggest heart and all that sort of thing. It's driving me crazy. Crazy with jealousy. Oh, you're there, guys. No, don't be sorry.
Did you see Brett Keane? Mark drove Brett Keane off the show earlier. Did you watch that?
No. Oh,
So
which show was that?
Brett Keane was on Proverbs Guy, and Mark Stoney came on. Well, first an atheist came on there, and I'm trying to remember the person's name. Blaster Master, right? Or Master Blaster?
Yeah.
Who's that?
I've seen him. I've seen him around. But he said, "Well, it's interesting that you're talking about people messing with channels when the person you have on here is Brett Keane, who has done this and this to this channel, this and this to Steven's channel, this and this to this channel." And Brett goes, "Well, I was in the past, and I don't do that kind of stuff anymore. And I didn't think it was going to take Steven that long to clean all that stuff up that I did to his computer, you know." All this, and if you remember what he did to his computer, it was like it took Steven like all day long to fix it. But so Mark, then Mark came on, and I think Mark said something like, "Well, Brett, you just kind of dismissed what this guy said. I mean, don't you have something more to say about that?" And they kind of got into it a little bit, and then Brett just said, "I'm out of here." I mean, they have
Yeah.
he and Mark, of course, have a history. Logan, do you want to say something there?
Yeah, he also did that on Skyler's channel too. Brett,
Oh.
Oh,
they
really?
call it Up and Bomb. Yeah.
Oh, he did a poor. You know, who was that woman called Mrs.
Oh,
So
yeah.
and so? He
So
went on that one, and
they mentioned that Ms.
he
Parker,
yeah, and he did this. It was disgusting,
right?
and from this guy, that was so wrong. And what I like about, well, I don't like it, but it strikes me about Brent, he is full of it. And so, for example, they were talking. I did hear the bit where they were talking. I missed all this bit, all the best bit, but they were talking about the upcoming stream with Kent. They're very excited about this. Have a live interview of Kent, and once Kent's gone, Standing for Truth is coming on, and they're going to talk to him and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, so. They were all excited about this guy coming on, and Brett said, I can share it, I can co-stream it on my channel. I've got connections with several channels, and I can get a big audience. Well, when I've looked at the numbers of people watching his stream, it's what, 10?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit of a, I can do this, I can do that. And it did seem an exaggeration. So how do I stop if he wants to do something bad to my channel, because he might now? How can I stop that?
Well, just don't let him on.
Right. So he can't get into the system, into the works, and cause a
No,
problem with my
no.
computer. Like, yeah. So
Stephen gave him control of his
control.
channel,
Oh no.
and which was a huge mistake. Logan, correct me if I'm wrong here, because you know more about this than I do, but he gave some control of his channel over to Brett because they had those streams where they were co-hosting shows. And so they each wanted, be able to control the situation from their end of it. And they turned on each other, but Brett still had the codes, and that's just inexcusable what he did.
Goodness. Yeah.
I would never, wish that.
No, on anybody.
Stephen didn't deserve that.
No, that's not nice. McKee Sport Rose Garden. Shall I call McKee Sport MRG? MRG said, I used to defend Kent, then saw all the evidence and went to DAL myself. Ugh.
Okay.
Ugh. So that's quite interesting. I don't know if you want to tell us what sort of things you saw there, good and bad. We've got to be fair here. If there were some good things,
Well, maybe McKee Sport can come on sometime and tell us what you saw at DAL, and an actual former supporter of Kent. I'd be really interested in that story. But
yeah. Because you remember we had that lady make the comment on somewhere, and then she said, how can I go? I sent her my Gmail, and she didn't get back to me. So that was disappointing.
The former student of Kent's?
Yes. So, because that would have been interesting. I was pure, look, once again, good points, bad points. If there were some things he could teach well, such as shooting a rubber band, that I want to know about it, but I'd be more interested to know how he taught chemistry and biology and stuff.
Maybe he was a decent math teacher. I mean, maybe he could teach trigonometry and stuff. Who knows?
Well, yes. I mean, if you were a student at school and you did well in math and trig and those sort of things, you possibly could teach it, but wouldn't you go and get a teaching qualification with that wonderful background in math? That you're one of the greatest mathematicians in history, but you'd think
most math teachers have a degree in math. Yeah, that's true.
And they just, well, I suppose I don't want to be mean, but when I hear real scientists, and I if I go to a university, listen to a lecture from a real professor. I've never in my life struck one like Kent Hovind. Have you? Never.
Have you what? Now repeat that
Never
last
struck
part.
one. Never listened to one like Kent Hovind. Ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, that's what tells me that he's not, he's not up to it. When you go to hear a real lecture from a real academic, there's just all Ken says is stale old jokes and ranting about someone, and I can't believe it, and all that sort of thing.
When you go hear real scientists like that, their story fits together. Whatever they're studying, their story fits into a larger picture. Whatever the specific that they're studying, there's always a context for it in a bigger picture that's been studied as well. Whereas Kent just jumps from one topic to another topic, and nothing really, the dots don't touch between the topics. He'll jump over here and talk about something, or he'll come over here and deny the fossil record completely or the geologic column, but he never really puts his own story out there or his own evidence.
I don't know who is that missing mod must be referring to Master someone or other you talked about.
Maybe it's Master Blaster.
Master Blaster. She's going to get a hiding from Kent for this sort of language. Oh dear. Well, you can't use that sort of language on a,
Is Missing Mod using bad language, or did that?
Look at what she's written on the screen. Master Asa.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. The whole stream is just oh my god. We're in trouble now. But
this isn't a Christian channel, is it, Claude?
Well, I don't believe there's such a thing as a Christian channel,
right,
or an atheist channel, because my computer on my channel has no ability to accept the Lord into its life, or to go around preaching the gospel to all whatever. It doesn't. So I think you can have individuals, but you can't say it's like some people, they have a business. Oh, this is a Christian business. Usually they treat people the worst of any businesses, but that because but the fact is the business is not Christian or non-Christian. Maybe the owner is.
So what did you guys talk about? Was it yesterday? I lose track of these shows, but it was after I left the show, and then I think you and Faithful were talking, and
we were just getting ready to go on. You left, and then I discovered, not wanting any credit, of course, that Proverbs guys were having this Peacemaker stream. And so I asked Father Charles if he was going on it, and then I don't think there was any. Oh, yeah, there was. I think Faithful and Deviant both suggested, look, it's gone on so long, 6 hours, and maybe we need to pull back from whatever. And I got a bit agitated, to be honest, because I thought, well, what is wrong with her? There's a thing on the thing you can say leave, right? Okay. So you just press you press the leave button and you go. And anyone else who wants can stay on. So that's the way I view that. But they're friends.
It's up to the host. It's all up to the host.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not annoyed, but I just thought, no. It's a bit like sometimes people say, "Oh my goodness, I saw this TV show that had this bad language," and they would turn it off.
Right. I can't stay for those whole.
No. Yeah.
I just can't do it. I can't stay for 7 hours straight. So
this show will only be an hour or two. It's not going to be just. Yeah. I can't sit on my master ass, as Missing Bod would say, for that length of time.
Yeah, but as you said, you just leave, and then if you want to come back later and it's still going, you can rejoin or what have you. it's all up to how long the host wants to. I mean, Stephen went for almost 24 hours one time, didn't he?
Right. He was trying to set a record, and I think I got on there, and then he changed his mind. That's one of my claims to fame. Now, Mark says Brett Keane knows how to tuck tail and run. Yes, well, yes.
Yeah, he did.
I'm pleased that happened. I wish
you need to watch that.
I'd seen it. Yes. Look, honest, there are so many shows on Proverbs Guy. I lose track. Now, Brett, here we go. Brett was giving advice on how to not get stream sniped, and Blaster Master called him out for porn bombing. Yes, there we go, Mrs.
Right,
Mrs. Parker.
right.
That's the one I saw, the Mrs. Parker one. I got a shock. I thought, what's happening here? Mrs. Parker wouldn't do that, and then I realized what had happened, and I thought, why would you do that? You know, this is so-called Christian man with his dawn, and you know, he's keeping an eye on him, and he's got other things to worry about with his daughter not being well, and he just goes and does that. My recommendation is to Brett Keane is to go and get a job, you know, get out of the house.
Yeah, he can't. I mean, he can't leave the house. That's like he's got whatever that phobia is, where you can't, where you don't want. What is it, Logan?
Oh, he's a manatee. Agoraphobia?
Agoraphobia, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I mean, it's a horrible thing to have. I mean, it's almost seems like he lies in bed for most of the time, but it's no excuse. It's no excuse. And the fact that when he was on Proverbs talking about that, Blaster Master, or I might get that backwards, but when he brought up Ms. Parker, Brett said, I don't care. Like, he doesn't care what he did. And he didn't want to acknowledge that it was wrong. And then I think Mark came on after that and basically said, and Mark's probably telling the story right now, but like, why, you were called out for this. Don't you have anything more to say about it? And he goes, I don't have to answer to you or whatever. And he stormed off.
This is where this is my whole thing. Look, if I did something outrageous and wrong, funnily enough, I'd say, I'm wrong. I'm sorry about it. Can we move on? And we would. But these guys, when they've dug and got to rock bottom, they then start to dig deeper. So I then double down as well. But my latest thing is I'm just going to show stuff and let people make up their own minds. And, I can't see people watching some of these guys. I won't pick any names, but Lupin, Dustin, the Stump, all those people, and saying, oh my God, I want some of what they have. I'm going to become a Christian. I can't see it. I'm genuine about this. I can't see anybody listening through a protracted amount of time to Dan and saying, I want some of what he's having. I just can't. I'm sorry.
We think Dustin got kicked off the panel that day.
Which day was that? This happens a few times. Oh, the peace talk. That was fair enough. He was saying things in the chat he shouldn't have. He's meant to be a moderator. He's telling someone to eat shite, I think, if I remember rightly, and go clean your toilet or whatever. I wouldn't,
Right.
And it was totally inappropriate for that sort of thing. I mean, sometimes I find that sort of thing funny. But I thought in that situation,
I just told him to grow up. I mean, what more can you say? And it's actually a little bit of a relief that I don't have to talk to him anymore if he doesn't want to talk to me. And so
it's good.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
And Mark says he wasn't even trying to start anything and Brett got offended. So I think you should never be offended by the truth, should you? And, once again, that could have ended in a different way. And this is how it could have ended. yes, I did that. I shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry about it. It won't happen again. That's all.
Right.
That's all Brett needed to say. Won't happen again. Agoraphobia. Mark says is the
Yeah.
name. Oh, it might be agoraphobia. Yeah.
Agoraphobia.
Yeah. Mark says Skylar loves America and Americans. Is that serious or is he being
He's being facetious.
facetious? Yes, because
He
all
admitted
I
that
hear is
he doesn't like anybody in
yeah, I
America.
mean, it's just bizarre.
I mean,
Ugh.
hundreds of millions of people.
You have to question the sanity of some of the participants, I think. But yeah. Oh yeah, Brett. Yeah, so it's as I thought. Brett said was saying he didn't care about Mrs. Parker and doing the bombing of porn, and he said just I could care.
Right.
I said he could care when he got all pissy and left. Well, that's good. See, that needs to actually happen more. And it's like raising a kid, I suppose. Eventually you've got to draw the line somewhere, and eventually they generally come round. And then we're talking about adult kids. We're talking about a guy who shouldn't be a kid anymore, Brett. Should
Yeah, that's totally inexcusable behavior. I mean, it's bordering on criminal behavior, I would think.
Yeah.
If you break into somebody's computer, I mean, especially like taking the code or using Stephen's codes like that. I mean, that's just a horrible thing to do.
Misty Mud says, get whatever you want to mind, Claude. I am very horrible. Yes, well, Misty Mud says she's horrible a lot, but if she was that horrible, she wouldn't say it. And I know she does drive me crazy sometimes, but we generally get over that very quickly. So now this is general. I'm being, I'm talking like our good friend. I hope Faithful is there. She always sees the good in everyone, doesn't she?
Right.
Both her and Deviant see the good in everybody. I'm getting more and more frustrated and saying, no,
Yeah, that's because I heard part of that, and I kind of wanted to get your story on it because I didn't really understand what was going on from the time that I left, and it seemed like the vibe changed, and I kind of understood. I listened to a little bit more of it, and I understood what was going on, but it doesn't sound like Deviant is like really happy about kind of having a peace accord with Stephen's channel especially after some of the stuff that we watched. And
well, I think she rightly thinks that and there is going to be a discussion that lady Cindy, not
right, Cindy and Larry.
Yeah, they're going to have some meeting. They're going to organize with Ghost and Stephen and try and get this matter solved. And the Ghost is going to be able to have a couple of people in there to support him.
Charles
possibly
and Mark.
Deviant and Charles and Mark, I think, are the ones.
Good.
Which is good, But I think, like a number of us, we're giving it a go, but it's not going to change us calling out nonsense if we see it, because that's not going to work for anybody, is it? Truck Driving Billy, and I put some comments up on saying how much I respect Truck Driving Billy on the other thing. He says he thinks he knows Stephen's endgame. He's doing with this little stunt. He is trying to get everyone over there for his big stream with Hovind and Standing for Truth. He wants it to be big. Well, yeah, even if it isn't that the reason, I think you are definitely right. He does want it to be big. So
I think that's a very good theory, actually.
Perhaps Ghost would like to simulcast it. Yeah. We can watch it on Ghost Channel or something.
When is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe have a talk to Father Charles. Yeah, we can, because I've got a fairly good. 18th, is it? 18th?
And what is today?
Is it the 16th?
Oh, okay.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
what
I
is
should
it
be
today?
home.
Yeah. What time is it there?
7:48.
Oh, it's at night. Yeah, but it's on the 16th, isn't it? Yeah.
Let's see. So, yeah, it's the 16th here right now.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's the 18th, but Ghost will know because he knows everything that's going on. Oh yes, Mark says he wonders who the few individuals, because Stephen did say there's an exception of about 3 people who aren't allowed, and everybody else is, including he said including Big Bad Mama and Claude. We're allowed on, so at the moment. But Mark thinks he's probably on that list of totally banned.
I might get in the chat on that for sure. So
yes. Mark would say that would have taken humility. Tubian, that's one reason I don't Kent Hovind. If he admitted he did wrong or something at DL was wrong, okay, fine. People make mistakes. Kent never admits fault, and I do totally agree with that. Right. Despite him saying he's a sinner like everybody else, when it comes down to the specific sin, no, he's never done that. That's the contradiction, isn't it? Oh, I'm a sinner. Or one of the things is we all make mistakes. He'll often say it, but he's never made one. He never made one.
You want to know my theory? I have a theory about this as well, and I think that Kent took such criticism based on that video of him going after Mark that I think that's kind of what started this whole thing and caused Proverbs guy to want to come make peace with Father Charles to kind of get us to lay off Hovind. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I think, it's not going to work as far as that goes. If I see Hovind, yep. Sorry, Ghost.
Sorry, I think probably Mark, Aiden, and Billy.
What about Mark, Aiden, and Billy? Oh, you won't allow them on?
Stephen won't. I mean, for the
Kent thing? Yeah. Aiden? Oh, Aiden is banned from that? That's too bad.
No, I'm not saying for 100% sure, but it's speculation.
Well, if that is the case, that could be a way around it. Could watch it on someone else's channel.
I mean, because he said he's not going to allow 3 people on, and he said he allows you 2 on, so.
Did our names come up in particular?
Yeah, he said he allowed you guys on.
Oh gosh. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to go on there or not. I guess I have a couple days to think about it.
What do you say, Claude?
Yeah,
Claude, are you going to go for it?
Oh, well, I would probably discuss this later with you.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know whether it's good to go on or not. I don't know.
I mean, I've already my feelings on it have been like I've put them out there a bunch of times. So, I don't know. I can't. We'll talk about it later.
Ahmad says that Stephen has big plans, Billy. Big plans. He's hurtling to the ground at warp speed. And Mark makes that good point. I think we all agree with that. Everybody has bad behavior. It's not the end of the world to confess and apologize. And
no, I mean that's how you get beyond it, is somebody apologizes, but they have to at least recognize that they did something wrong. And there's some people that don't have that. I don't know. They don't have that consciousness where they can do that and admit a weakness or admit a fault or something.
It's quite funny. McKee Sport says, "Hey, I'll just go with Kent's way by saying to everybody in Kent's strain voice, sounds like a parrot. Hey, you'll just have to accept." I can't even do it. You have to accept me the way I am. I wish we had Aiden here or AJ. Truck Byron Billy, in response to Missing Bod saying Stephen has big plans, he's settling to the ground at Warp Street. He says, well, Stephen needs to pull that ripcord fast then. Oh, my
I
goodness.
think that's what he was doing. The other night, the peace accord was him pulling the ripcord.
Oh, dear.
What now? What is she saying? What did she say about me there?
Premium should learn how to love bomb from you, meaning from me. He will win Deviant, no problem. Sorry, Mark. I'm praying for you to win, but I'm tired of doing that too. So, I'm not after Deviant, and I don't think you are either.
Who's? Am I supposed to love bomb somebody?
Yes, you should, but you need. Oh no, wait a minute. But yes, you should learn how to love bomb from me, so that you can win Deviant.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that after the show too.
I think he's joking.
Yes. Missing Mod has a good sense of humor.
I think leaving Cindy Lincoln out of the peace talks is ignoring a lot of those guys' offenses. Well,
That's what I'm
actually an
saying.
interesting point. And to be honest, I'm guilty of forgetting that. And, I do stick up for Cindy and have do, but in all that yesterday, it didn't cross my mind. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason. I mean, that's the biggest reason that I haven't gone on that show, is because he remains unrepentant when it comes to what he did to Cindy. And the accusations against her from Johanna and on Steven's channel and on Brett Keen's channel are some of the worst, most inhuman things I've ever heard in my life to accuse somebody of.
Here's Stephen Andrews. Yeah.
How do I get beyond that? I mean, why should I forgive something that he hasn't acknowledged? So I'm with Mark there.
Stephen is coming on. I just give him a click. Hello,
Stephen.
Hello, monsieur.
Hello, how are you? I see you're suited up for battle and your Napoleon hat.
No, monsieur. I come in peace.
Ah, good. That reminds me, what is it, that the song about the Klingons? We come in peace, shoot to kill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Starship Enterprise.
Star Trekkers?
Yeah, I think so.
Trekkies.
Yeah.
I think it was a song called Star Trekkers Across the Universe.
Yes, we can't find reverse.
How old are you guys? I've never.
We're old.
No, but look, my playlist for YouTube is 50s, 60s, and 70s music. So I dig the old stuff, but I have never heard that.
Yes, well,
it's on Dr. Demento, on the weird songs of Dr. Demento. Have you heard of Dr. Demento?
I have never heard of Dr. Demento.
He plays just oddball songs, like Fish Heads and songs like that. I don't know if you've heard Fish Heads, but this one's called Star Trekkers, the one that Claude's referring to, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Hey,
what's up?
If I may, I would just like to address a couple things.
Yeah, sure.
As far as the Cindy Lincoln thing goes, I'm not sure if Miss Faithful to Jesus told you, but I scrubbed my Facebook of all the negative stuff I had done about Cindy and all the stuff that I had Kent Hovind on, and he discussed negatively about Cindy. I scrubbed all of that off of my Facebook months ago. And I asked Miss Faithful to pass on the message to Miss Cindy that I was sorry and that I regret all the hard feelings between both of us and the attacks that I had made. And I asked Miss Faithful to pass that message on to Cindy. So I hope that she did.
I think that's a very good thing. But could you tell Cindy yourself? I mean, I don't think she's that hard to get a hold of.
Cindy doesn't want contact with me because I'm associated with an individual that So
I mean,
I went
even just
through
to
a party
communicate.
that I was
I'm
almost
sorry.
certain would deliver the message. So I tried from my side. And if you check my Facebook today, it's absolutely Kent Hovind drama free. There's not a thing on there that I think you'll find. If it is, let me know because I'll scrub it too.
Well, that's
I know you pulled a lot of those videos. Yeah, that's good.
Mark has made a very positive comment about that. So
Yeah,
that's good.
I've made ground with Mark too. I think Mark and I are on a good road.
Yeah, you guys had a good talk yesterday. That was good to see. But I would encourage you to still try to reach out to Cindy and just tell her in person. I mean, you don't have to like just what you said. I mean, I thought that was good what you just said.
Yeah, the problem is she doesn't. I've tried to apologize to her before, but she won't accept that apology alone. She wants me to also completely change my perspective on the whole situation that we're all involved in, and that I can't do.
Right. Nor should you be expected to. I mean,
But I am
if you want
sorry
to
for
follow
this.
Kent Hovind, that's your prerogative, and you're free to do that. And nobody can tell us what we should believe in or whose work we should follow or what have you. I would never tell you, to
Now,
change like that.
Mark makes an offer here, kind offer.
Mark,
who just read
please
on the
talk to
screen.
Cindy, and I promise you can ask Faithful. I hope she'll tell you. I talked to her before all of this schism happened, and she was supposed to pass that message on to Cindy. Whenever I scrubbed my channel of all the Kent Hovind stuff, like 2 days later is when I had the conversation with Miss Faithful.
Well, I think that's good. I'm glad to hear you say that, Stephen.
Guys, I'm sorry, truck driving Billy. If I start the apology tour, it's going to take me a year. The only other apology I plan on making, besides the one I already made to Cindy through Faithful, is to Logan, and hopefully Aiden has already talked to you, Logan, and explained that I want to have a private conversation with you. But besides Logan, who I sincerely owe a huge apology to, I'm not gonna keep doing the apology tour because I don't think it'll ever end. There'll always be something else I need to apologize for.
My whole issue with you, Stephen, was the Cindy issue. That was my biggest issue, and I'm glad that you said that today. So that's good.
I think that and like looks as though Mark will make sure that does get passed on, which is nice. So that's very good.
I really just want it to end. I mean, I don't mind the funny jabs, and I don't care what you guys do on your channel, but I don't want to hate you guys.
Yeah, I don't hate you for sure, Stephen. I'm a fan of your channel, frankly, and I include your material in my videos. I mean, you might not like the context. You might not like the context of them, but it's because of who you are that I like those videos. And in a weird way, it's kind of an homage to you, even though the context might not be to your liking.
I think honestly, I take a lot of the criticism to heart when I shouldn't, because guys, you got to remember, when I started really strongly defending Kent, I acquired a lot of people that hated his guts. And this was before I had a whole staff. It was just Stephen taking these beatings repeatedly. And you guys may think it's justifiable. That's fine. But regardless, I mean, I got some PTSD when it comes to, I do. I just.
Well, we'll try to get beyond. We'll try to get beyond that.
I hope we can, guys. I'd like to have you guys on, especially when we have our atheism nights.
Well, Aiden has said, Stephen Boland's I'm Sorry Everyone tour part 862 out tomorrow. Joking. Trust Aiden.
Aiden. Yeah. Why isn't he here tonight? I mean, I know he's in the comments. He must be working, I guess.
Well, he must be working late. It's late. Yeah. Oh well.
Well, it was
He does
interesting to
work.
hear from Larry and Cindy. I really think they're nice people.
They are, and I think I made the right decision putting Larry in the pastor position over Proverbs Guys Ministries, and I'm really excited to see where we go under his spiritual leadership.
Mhm. Yeah, Aiden is working late, so yeah.
What is Missing Maud going on about? I don't
What's
understand.
Missing Maud saying, Claude?
I'm back in the cult of Kent. Is she against Kent now? I thought she was a Kent fan.
Well, if anything, I took it that you perhaps weren't, but
And
yeah,
I
she's
I don't
interpreted it that
understand.
way. Yeah.
I never got the impression that you were not in. I mean, you've always been behind Kent Hovind. You've always supported him. So I don't understand that comment.
I don't either. I'm
I thought she
confused.
had too.
Is she not a Kent fan anymore?
Yeah, no, she is.
Does she think I'm not? Did I not defend Kent just now or something? Or did I throw him under the bus? I'm confused.
Maybe because you said
I
you
don't
scrubbed
know.
his videos off your channel.
Oh, just the drama stuff. I still
Yeah.
have my interviews of Kent Hovind where, personal stuff wasn't brought up and things I think can benefit, people looking for Christian material. When I scrubbed the Kent Hovind stuff, I scrubbed drama related stuff that has been used to hurt people. I don't want any part of that anymore.
Yeah, that's good. That's good because I really didn't. I really didn't like that reenactment video that you had. I have to say that was one that really upset me. But to your credit, you got rid of it, and so I have to let that. I have to let that go and just move on.
I mean, I've made a lot of decisions since this process has started, but you guys got to remember, well, first of all, this channel was started to help destroy Kent Hovind. It was one of your channels. And then it developed into my personal channel to try to help Kent Hovind. And then it developed into my personal channel to just talk about Christian stuff. And then it slowly developed into a ministry, but that was never my plan. So I said and did a lot of things as Stephen Andrew that I wouldn't have done as Proverbs Guys Ministries. But unfortunately, and you guys will get a kick out of this, things evolved. So now I have to go back and address everything.
Well, I always evolve for the
You
better.
admit it. You finally admitted it.
That's the only time you'll ever get that out of my mouth. So you got to use that in one of your videos.
They evolve for the better. Aiden says big bad bowling, not big bad mama.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
Oh, that's good. So as Tubian is on here, Tubian is a bit, I think something, oh no, it's Magnus. It's not very keen on Brett.
You need to please notify Mr. Truck Driving Billy that Aiden freaking Linden is patented. It's trademarked. It's mine.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Right.
Can only
You
be
came up with
used
that.
with paying a license fee.
Yeah, I need some kind of cutback for that. That's my special Aiden call.
That one
Trouble
in
is, Aiden.
that one in Boom Mark Boom belongs to you too.
I want no part of the boom boom. Logan can have the boom boom.
The trouble is when you trademark or patent Aiden, you're patenting about 5 or 6 different voices from what I've heard.
Oh, ha, 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 ha.
Because he's very good at voices.
I don't know what to say to that.
Well, he's just so good at the voices. He can be, I don't know, about 4 people, one after the other. Bang, 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 bang.
Look what Tubian wrote, Stephen.
Things evolve. Stephen Bowman, just kidding. All right, who is that? Is that one of the regulars?
Yeah.
Or am I
yeah.
not allowed to know? I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to
No,
know.
he's like a regular on our channels.
Do you guys hate Dan? I really like Dan. What? Do you guys hate Dan because he's...
I don't hate anybody, but I just
You
think
just like
Dan, I think, acted quite a bit differently when he was on, I don't remember if it was Logan or Father Charles' channel, and then when he was on your channel afterwards, he just sounded different, and he was kind of playing one side against the other, or somehow, I don't know how to describe it. He just, his stories changed from one channel to another. So it's not that I don't dislike him at all, but I just noticed that.
We thought he was coming on tonight, but he hasn't yet. Maybe another day.
Claude, I have been extremely vulnerable with you gentlemen tonight. Would you agree that's a fair statement?
Yes.
Claude, you're not
Vulnerable.
French, are you?
Well,
You're not.
I have French ancestry.
Yeah, and I have British ancestry, and I have Scottish ancestry, and I wore a kilt to the Scottish Games, but I'm American.
Put it this way: each of us plays a character and a role in our life, and mine is a mix of things.
You are European, though.
Yes,
I assume British. I would assume, and I would assume from the accent, I would say South England. I would say somewhere around like London.
I have spent plenty of time in France, and I have spent plenty of time in England, and now Australia and New Zealand is where I'm.
But where is your accent? Like your authentic.
Well, because I've lived in so many places, and occasionally, I've even. But I don't have the same ability as Aidan with accents, as you can probably tell.
He is good with accents. He's quick.
Poor old Incontentia, for example.
Dude, that was so clever. I couldn't even be mad. Like, honestly, man, you earned it. You earned your way on that night.
The trouble is, when Claude went on again, I understand he sounded a bit like Incontentia. So he doesn't have the same skill as.
Well, no, I mean, your French accent is fairly good. Your Southern accent, it sucks like a Hoover vacuum. It's terrible. It's trash. It's white trash. It belongs on Jerry Springer. Call it done.
Yeah, I like that. You Jerry. Oh my goodness, I have heard of that man.
I think he just died, didn't he?
He died. He died a couple of years back, I think.
Matthew Perry just died.
Yeah.
Who's Matthew?
The Friends reunion is probably out the window. Like, it's gonna suck without Chandler.
He was probably one of the funnier ones on there.
I think he was the funniest.
Yeah, that was horrible.
And it wasn't just his script. Like, he just had that natural, the look for the right scene and the goofy. He was just, you can't teach that to actors anymore, and you can't read it off a script.
And he was in like 3 or 4 failed pilots before he hooked up with Friends. So it's good that he got on a show where his kind of comedic gifts could shine.
Yeah. None of the men's careers really took off, though. Like, Matt had that short run with Joey, and Matthew Perry had like 4 shows that failed after Friends.
He was in a couple movies, but not like Jennifer Aniston. I mean, and then Courtney Cox, I think, had another show after.
Yeah, Cougar Town.
Right.
But was she was in movies also. I don't know of any other TV shows she was in.
She was in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, wasn't she?
I don't know. I don't think I've seen that.
Was she Logan?
I think so. I think she also was
Courtney
in,
Cox.
yeah. I also think she was in that Scream movies.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, she was in Scream. It wasn't that. No, the first thing she was in was Friends, though, right?
Yeah. No, she was Michael J. Fox's girlfriend, whatever that show, Family Ties, right? She was his girlfriend on that show before Friends.
What? I have to go back. That's crazy.
Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong there. Yeah, look that one up.
Can we go back to more serious talk and address the elephant in the room?
Yeah.
What is your guys' personal take on Chevy Chase?
Great.
I don't know
Yeah.
who he is.
I mean, he made some really funny movies, and then he just stopped for some reason. But I mean, the movies he made at the beginning of his career were, I mean, Vacation's a classic. Christmas Vacation's a classic.
I like Vegas Vacation. I know that's like one of the unpopular vacations, but I like in European Vacation is good.
And what's that?
Nothing But Trouble. That was a good movie.
Which was it?
Nothing But Trouble.
Nothing But Trouble. Okay.
Isn't that the one where they go to the weird town and the judge's nose falls off, Logan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. He also did other good ones, though. He had Funny Farm. He had Fletch Lives. But what I heard
The Three
is
Amigos.
oh, dude, the Three Amigos. But and I love him. He's one of my favorite actors. But I heard he's like the worst actor to work with. And I heard
That's what I heard. He got in a brawl with Bill Murray, I think, on the set of SNL at some point.
I heard about that. He also was in like this hate war back and forth with Howard Stern.
Right.
For years.
Claude, you know who we're talking about?
Not really, no. I'm not familiar with that movie, but that's fine.
You don't know Clark Griswold?
Did you ever see Vacation?
Oh, American Vacation, is it?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, though, there's a European movie, so...
Wait a minute. There was one where he visits people in Europe. I remember, yes, because he knocks on the door of a house in Germany, and they don't know, and he goes in, and then they have a meal, and then when he leaves, the people say, "Who the was that?"
And it was the wrong
he
house.
thinks it's his relatives. Yeah. It's just
he's
like
giving him a hug and everything.
All this sort of stuff, and he's got the wrong.
Things have really gone downhill since WW2.
Yeah.
That's the one I never saw, I think.
What? That's it's not as good as like Vacation.
I thought Christmas Vacation was hilarious.
You know, they did that new version of Vacation, and Chevy Chase had a little cameo in it, and I don't think it got that good of reviews, but I thought it was okay.
Who was in it?
Okay. So, do you watch The Office, or have you watched The Office?
Yeah.
Okay, you know the guy who plays Andy?
Oh, yeah. Ed Helms.
Yes, he's the main character, and he plays Clark's son. And it's Clark's son's journey with his family trying to get that kindling back that his dad did. And it is I thought it was a good movie.
He's funny. I mean, he's a pretty funny actor, so.
He is, yeah. Everyone from The Office, for the most part, was pretty funny.
Yeah, Jim and Pam would always bother me because they were just so mean-spirited sometimes towards some of the other people. Especially
Jim, because he's portrayed as like the big teddy bear that you can't help but love, but at the same time, he really was a big jerk. But
yeah,
he was mostly a big jerk to Dwight, and Dwight pretty much deserved everything.
But he didn't know any better. He thought he was he was just being himself usually, which was kind of he was a strange character, Dwight, but he wasn't
did
being
go-
malicious usually.
Well, sometimes he did. Like, he would intentionally try to suck the fun out of the room.
No, I haven't had the same. Like, I think if you grow up in America, you are more likely to see lots of these movies than, you know.
That's true. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a British version of The Office, Claude. There's really
Oh,
no-
yes. Well, that was the first one, the British version. And
that's a classic.
we find that very funny because it has the actual writer, Ricky Gervais. It's a French name, actually, but he's English. Yeah, he's in it, and he's very funny.
He's trying to get the hostess' attention. He said, "Hey, I think there's been a rape up there." He succeeded. He got the attention.
And they're
Well, he was
also
doing that. He was
boring.
doing that during a training with.
Sensitivity training.
They were doing a sensitivity training, and they were saying, "Okay, ask me to make a complaint about the hotel." And the guy was going, "I don't care, I don't care." And then, yeah, that's when he used that line, and everybody just looked at him. And then he got his guitar out and started playing songs for everybody.
Oh man.
What's good about that show is it's only 12 episodes long or something, and then it like ended as a. Whereas the other Office like went on for a couple of seasons too long, I think.
Well, it did because they lost Steve Carell, and the show tanked after that. However, if they had brought in the right replacement and not tried to change Andy's character, like if they had brought in Ricky Gervais, which he made a short cameo, and that would have been the natural fit, the show would have continued on, and probably it could have got better. And that's hard to say because I think Steve Carell is hilarious. As a matter of fact, my son's name is Bobby Michael Scott. So
I heard he left because the writers changed, and so the quality of the writing went down. And I think Steve Carell left, and then the writers came back for the very last season. And I think Steve Carell came back for the last season, if I'm not mistaken.
well, that could be too. From what I heard is he wanted to start doing more movie stuff, and The Office had his schedule totally jacked up, and he wanted to get free of that, and they weren't willing to work with his schedule. So then he wasn't wanting to stay, but it could be both or either or.
Well, he made some pretty popular movies when he. I don't know if it was during The Office or when he left there, but I mean, 40-Year-Old Virgin and some of those movies were huge, weren't they?
Yeah, but I think 40-Year-Old Virgin came out before The Office because that's the movie
Oh,
that really
okay.
put him on the scene. That was his big breakout film.
Dinner with Schmucks is a classic.
Mm. You notice how much less hair Steve Carell had back then?
Did he get hair plugs or something?
I mean, I don't know. If he did, it looks great. It looks natural, but his hair was much thinner, like in the early seasons of The Office. And then by the later seasons, when he leaves, he has like this lush, full head of hair. And I'm thinking, I was homeschooled, but I know math, and that's backwards. He should have lost that hair over time.
Claude, do you want to change the topic? Or you
Oh,
good?
yeah, well, probably in a few minutes we'll probably finish anyway because I don't want too long a show. So, but you know, for the last 8 minutes we can pick what have you got a suggestion?
When is Kent coming on, Stephen? A day after tomorrow, or?
It's Thursday, the 18th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He'll be there for about an hour. And then after he goes off, Donnie will be coming on with Mattman, and we're trying to get a hold of Praise I Am. So you guys feel free to come over.
Okay.
But please, I mean, I understand, guys, your deep hatred for the personal stuff, but like bring your evidence to try to make Kent look stupid on evolution if that's, you know, your goal.
I just
Well, if
might
I went on there, I'd
believe
be
it to
polite.
someone
I
else.
mean,
Yeah.
No,
I will have a look anyway.
I'm not expecting you guys to be polite. I'm not saying that. I don't want you
no,
to
no, I would. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd be
I don't
like
want you to walk on
completely.
eggshells. Just, you know, come on with the evolution topic. Come bring your
Okay.
argument.
So Mark says he's spoken to Cindy. She's doing well. And so there we go. So that's from
Oh,
Mark.
good.
Excellent.
Little
Thank you, Mark.
update. Yeah.
Good job, Mark.
Yeah. So, well, that's good. Well, we will at least. I will at least have a look at the show. So no problem. It'll
Yeah,
be
I
interesting.
want to watch it at least. So I'm interested in it. So
Okay. Well, you guys are welcome to come on. Reconciliation doesn't happen overnight, guys. And all the wounds we all caused didn't happen overnight. But it's a long process, and I think we're on the right page. I just, you know, let's all keep going in good faith, guys.
that sounds good.
Okay. Oh well, we'll say goodbye and actually.
Au revoir, monsieur. Isn't
It's
that what you
been a
mean?
very interesting show. Yeah, au revoir, bonsoir, because it's night time where you are. Bonsoir.
Sacre bleu.
Yeah. So, sacre bleu.
Take care, Stephen. Good talking to you.
It's not too good a word. Okay.
Well, it's a phrase. It's a phrase, monsieur.
Okay. Yeah. Well, is it? Yeah. Anyway, goodbye. Okay. I'm just going to end the stream. Good night, everybody. Wonderful to see you all.